Today I'm going to talk about question number 5 for your final assessment. In this question, the purpose is to analyze and compare different sales avenue to identify which one generates the highest number of orders, as well as how they perform in different terms of total revenue, order quantity, and profitability. So, using a pivot table in Excel, we are going to look into the sales avenues. These are evaluated based on aggregated performance measures. So the findings would show that while one sales avenue leads in total orders, it does not necessarily generate the highest revenue or profit. So this is a key point in here. So please remember that when you perform the calculations, you might realize that it does not necessarily generate the highest avenue revenue or profit. This highlights an important business insight. So, higher sales volume does not always translate into higher profitability. So, therefore, organizations must consider not only order quantity but also revenue and profit margins when evaluating the effectiveness of their sales channels. So, if you can see on the screen now, we have this data set, and I already have explained what we are going to do into this question 5. As always, like all other questions, I have changed the data. So my answers would be different to yours one, but you can follow these steps to get to solve your question number 5. So looking at the screen, what we are going to do today now is we are going to pick up few columns which we will probably be using for this to solve this question. So the first column we will be look into this is the order ID. So I'm just, for the easiness, I'm just going to highlight that in yellow. So order ID, and then I just keep looking into that one. Whereas if you look at sales revenue, I'm going to highlight that one as well. Then keep going. We have here sales revenue. We get into this one as well. Then we have quantity sold, which is quite easy to pick up. And then we have a profit. So these are few columns which we will be working on to resolve this question. Right. So once you have picked up these ones, just to remind you, we are looking into order ID, we're looking into sales avenue, and then we have sales revenue, quantity sold, and then finally we'll be looking into the profit column. So just to repeat again, I have changed the data in here. So when I will calculate this answer, my answers would be slightly different to yours one as well. Right. So we come back in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the whole data, which is I'm going to use Control A. The whole data is highlighted. If you look at the top, we are going into Insert, Pivot Table. You click on that one, and then the first option is from Table and Range. So you click into this one. You don't have to change anything. Just make sure that the new worksheet is selected already. So you press into OK, and here you go. This is your formation of the pivot table. Here, the climax of this is that if you have picked up the right columns into the right rows and some columns into the values, then you will have it will be easier for you guys to actually find the solution and the answer for that one. So the first one is the sales avenue. So let's find where is the sales avenue. There we go. Sales avenue, you can click, drag, and drop into the rows in here. So you can see that the value on the left is changed now. Then you have order ID. We go back into the order ID. These are the same 5 columns we have already picked up and put that into yellow, but it's just the formation now, which columns are going in rows and sorry, which headings are going in rows and which headings would go into the columns. So we get into the order ID, we click on to drag and drop into the values. Then we have sales revenue, not avenue, but sales revenue. So you got into that one, here we go. Then sales revenue will drag and drop into the values as well. And then you have quantity sold, you can drag and drop as well. And then finally profit, so drag and drop as well. So you can see that the table is actually extending on the basis of the pivot table, and the columns we are adding into the values. So once you have this one, the next thing is that you can see that in the row labels, you can actually change the name of the row labels. It's up to you the way you want to change the names, and then you click onto that one, and then you can have sort out. You can sort from A to Z or Z to A. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click onto this sum of sales avenue, and I'm going to highlight that. Just a right click, you get into sort. If you can look at the screen, this is sort, and when you click on a sort, you find two options whether you want to sort this sum of sales revenue from smallest to the largest or largest to the smallest. So if I click on smallest to the largest, as you can see that the smallest is already in there now, and then you click on this one again, highlight, sort it, and then you have largest to the smallest. So you can see it has changed the shape of the table as you can see the values have been changed slightly. I mean the order of the values have been changed now. So if you look at this one in briefly, you can see that the value for 429653 is only for 6744. Whereas if you look at this data, you have got 11,61401, which is for 19,521, some of the quantities sold, and similarly, you have these values in here. So I will leave this option in here with you guys to analyze that which on the basis of the quantity, what sales they have made. So remember my first few words when I started this video, I put up some words for you guys. I wanted to make you aware that not more quantity is always going to give you more revenue. So here you need to analyze by yourself that which quantity is creating more profit and why. But the last thing of this question, what you need to do is you can actually highlight any columns. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to highlight these two columns in here, and then you get into insert, and then you go into the pie chart, donut graph, donut chart, and then you click onto this one, and here you go. So uh, until now, what we have done, I'm just going to briefly explain that to you, revise the steps involved. So first step is you're going to highlight the columns, which is order ID, sales avenue, and then you have sales revenue, and then you have quantity sold, and then profit. Once you've got that one, you press Control A, and then you get into the pivot table, and then you create a pivot table, and this sheet generates. And then what you need to do is you need to have sales avenue into the rows, and then you have to have sales revenue, quantity sold, profit, and cost count of order ID into the values. Once you have that one, then you have to analyze that which quantity is what type of quantity is being sold, and then what profit and revenue they have generated. So looking into this one, you can easily analyze this information, and I'm not analyzing it for you guys. You need to analyze by yourself. But once you get to that stage and then you create a graph, then half of the job is done in here now. So once you have completed your analysis, your question 5 should be completed with no other issues in here. I hope this is going to help you in creating completing your question 5. But if you got any questions, so please drop that onto video view, so I will be able to respond to those ones too. Thank you very much, and shortly I will be uploading for questions 6, 7, and 8, and hopefully they will be able to help you to complete your assignment. Thank you very much, guys. All the very best. Take care.